Are you looking to start a podcast? Yes! Then see this episode's show notes for our unique promo code to get up to 2 months of free podcasting service with Libsyn when you sign up for a new account. Get your show on Apple and Spotify. Get helpful audience building stats and all the support you need to sound your best. They can even do video. Bring your podcast to life and have your voice heard here, there, and everywhere with Libsyn. Again, see our show notes for our unique Libsyn promo code and get podcasting.
This is Jed MacKay, and you're listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast.
Welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 347, if I've gotten that correct. You're with the High Priest of KHONSHU, Rebecca and Ray. Rebecca, how are you? Looking very cozy and toasty.
I'm feeling very cozy. I'm just looking at my little unicorn. It's like, this is not really a Moon Knight outfit, but it's very cold, and I'm too lazy to go put the heating on, so...
Yeah, no, for sure.
This is how we keep warm in cold parts of the world, right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it was pretty toasty here today, quite hot. But yes, listeners, welcome back. If you are no stranger to the videos, for those that do have access to it, you will see again. Yeah, Rebecca, obviously up in the Northern Hemisphere, Ray down in the South this time of year at the time of this recording.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're here to first of all, Rebecca has been a little bit again of a quiet patch. Yeah, but again, you know, both of us have been kind of busy with stuff. It's just
it's been kind of weird how it's shaken out for us. That we've both kind of had this kind of weird busy, but you know, we'll get back on track. So,
we definitely will. Yeah. And I mean, we will be caught up after this episode.
Yeah,
is that right, Rebecca? I mean, like, yeah. So we did miss. There was a week where, you know, we could have reviewed. It was going to be a Moon Knight cameo, which we'll get up to. We'll get up to that when we do. But we are looking at Vengeance of the Moon Knight issue 2 for this episode. It's a Moonshine. It is a new issue. And so, yeah, this will be exciting because it has been a while, Rebecca. You mentioned just before we started that it's been a while since you kind of read it, in the sense it's been ages since I've read issue 1. So
there was a big gap between them, wasn't there? There was like 2 weeks. Issue 1 came really close after Moon Knight 30, and then there was quite a long wait. So, and now I think we're back on the monthly cycle. And looks like we are. I guess the big news is we know we're going to issue 7 at least, because issues 5 to 7 will be tying in with Blood Hunt. So
yeah, that'd be great. There was a lot of speculation earlier on, wasn't there, Rebecca? That
because the first trade is listed as only being the first 4 issues. Which now makes sense, but I still think makes a very short trade. So
unless they pack it with other stuff, like.
Yeah, but I'm not sure they will. I think it might be more worth waiting to see what happens. Like if they do package, maybe however many issues this goes. But let's say it goes 8. I don't know why I'm saying 8. Let's hope it doesn't finish on a event tie-in. It goes to 8, between 8 and 12. Then it might be worth seeing if they do one of the whole lot. Because even when you got to remember that even with event tie-ins, they're supposed to make sense to people who aren't reading the main event. So hopefully,
speaking of which, I mean, you did mention this kind of reveal of issue 7. I might was just check up White Noise, a bit of news now. Anyway, I did post it in the Facebook group a while ago. I think in between our last episode and now, though. It was announced that we will be getting an omnibus.
Was it? Yeah. Well, I keep forgetting. There's so many announcements of omnibuses.
So that's exciting as well. And look, it's no surprise because Jed's work has been collected into omnibus form with the likes of Black Cat. So that's exciting news for any omnibus collectors. So that won't be for a while yet, but for those that do like to have that on the shelf, would be mighty handy too. Rebecca, I mean, apart from that, news-wise, I have again, been out of the loop. I always do lean on you. Trust that you have your finger on the pulse.
I don't think there is any more news.
No,
I think that's I think that's the big news. I mean, obviously we are on the verge of getting solicits, which is why they've revealed this. And so we're going to hear more about the Blood Hunt event, which we know Hunter's Moon's involved in. So I mean, I guess that's news. Go look up the Hunter's Moon the Blood Hunt announcement, which I think I've got on the Facebook page. Although I think they've announced more since then. So we'll keep trying to update that. But eventually we'll hear it all when solicits come out, I believe next week.
Okay, cool.
Because we must be really close because we've had the X-Men solicits and we've had some information about Blood Hunt. So if I missed them, it means we're pretty close.
Hey, Rebecca, speaking of the X-Men, did you see...
I just saw the issue 5 cover.
Sorry?
I just saw it. I just found the solicit for the first Vengeance of the Moon Knight part of Blood Hunt.
Oh, nice. Okay.
The new and vengeful Moon Knight, taking Mark Spector's name, isn't enough as he now turns his sights and fists on everything Mark held dear in life. MacKay has slowly laid the groundwork for the vampire invasion throughout his work on Moon Knight. Don't miss the culmination of years' worth of plotting as the Midnight Mission becomes one of the few havens left during the vampire takeover. So, I mean, Moon Knight's definitely male. There you go.
I like that. Lending his fists to everything that Mark loved. I mean, what if, Mark really loved a nice bacon and egg roll?
I should hope not. He's not a very good Jew, but he's not a very good Jew. So I mean, look, if Ben Grimm and Magneto can have lobster and bacon, then so can Mark. Okay,
a couple of things that you have just kind of set off in my mind just before we kind of move on to Moon Knight related. Number one, I'm going to track back to X-Men 97, the trailer. Did you watch that?
No.
Okay. No worries.
I meant to, but I didn't. So
okay, it's pretty cool. I mean, they keep it very much in that 90s animation, and I understand a lot of the voice actors have returned.
That's cool. I've heard that. Is it CGI? Someone said. I'm just putting this solicit in the.
CGI.
Somebody said the animation was CGI. I don't know.
It looks like the 90s animation, but kind of cleaned up a bit. So I don't know how they do that. The second thing I wanted to say, and this is, sorry, listeners, this is non-Moon Knight related, but get to chat with Rebecca, so I'm gonna just offload what I can. The casting, Rebecca, for Fantastic Four.
I love it.
Yeah, I wanted to get your thoughts. Yeah, because also the gentleman that plays Ben Grimm,
I love him.
He's the guy. He's Micro.
He's Micro. Yeah. So we were laughing about it because so we were talking about it on I was talking about it on different Discord, and I was going, it'll be like the first Jewish actor playing a Jewish character, and I'm like, he's also the second Jewish actor playing a second character, Jewish character, because Microchip is Jewish in that series. So so he's had the honor of doing it twice for Marvel.
Pretty good. Have you watched The Bear? I mean, he's getting a lot of accolades,
The Bear.
right?
Oh my god, I love it.
I was really impressed with him in The Punisher. I just thought he was very good.
What I was laughing about, do you remember when The Punisher was on, how much we used to laugh about them always talking about food? They were always talking about making sandwiches and having food. And then they go on to both be in The Bear about this sort of sandwich shop. Because, so... No, I think it's great casting. I mean, I don't know how... It's going to be interesting to see how distinctive his voice is. I think he's a great actor. And I mean, I don't, because they don't necessarily need him in the suit anymore. It's one of the things we've learned from sort of either, RDJ as Iron Man, he only wears bits of the suit. Pedro Pascal in Mando doesn't even wear the suit anymore. Apparently. So whatever they do with the costume or not, it's gonna be interesting to see. But I think he's a great actor and better than any of the suggestions that came before for him. Like the minute people landed on him, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. Nice. Age-wise as well, it's nice of it. I know people are a little bit iffy about Pedro, but I mean, he's like the internet's dad. How is he not going to be everyone's dad? I think my only concern there is how many films they do, how long it lasts, how he, the aging and stuff. It's the same, with anyone.
But I think Reed can, be
he could be he can be an elder statesman of the. I love Vanessa Kirby; she's great, and I thought Joe Quinn was incredibly charismatic in Stranger Things. I mean, he doesn't look. I know people are giving it a lot of grief, like they all loved him in Stranger Things and was like, "Oh, he's the best thing ever." But the minute it's like he takes over from whatever blonde bombshell Twinkie guy they've decided can play Johnny. Everyone's like, oh no, he's not pretty enough, and it's just like, okay, he's not ugly, like, I mean, and to me it's much more about the charisma, the cockiness, whether he looks like he could be related to Sue, whether he is or not.
Absolutely.
I mean, we've had an adopted sibling relationship, fine to do that again as well, and it's like, that the minute people see him, they'll suddenly be like, yeah, it's fine.
I think so.
I trust Marvel casting, and I think it's a really fun cast. I mean, they seem fun. They're not megastars, apart from maybe Pedro. And it'd be interesting to see who they get to play Doom and
Ben Mendelsohn. He wants to play Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah, but like, come on, he shouldn't. I love him to death, but he shouldn't be playing Doom.
I read an article that they just need a voice actor. Like you don't need an actor.
Same thing as I was saying about Ben, really. You need some. I mean, you need an actor to play him pre-mask. Like, so you do need an actor for that.
Julian McMahon, just get him in there.
he was fine. He was fine. In that, within the context of that,
a little bit hammy. But
a bit hammy, but it's Doom. I mean, Doom is like the ham. I mean, like Doom really is. If any of them get away with being hammy, it's Doom.
Yeah, true.
The dude speaks about himself in third person. He
does.
I was like, everyone's saying there's this big rumor that Henry Cavill's being cast as something Marvel, and lots of people are saying Doom. That'd be terrible.
Doom.
Casting.
Oh,
be
that
dreadful.
Would be. Yeah.
But but it did start making me think. What is quite funny is once again we have a very British cast there. Two of them are British. I think Vanessa Kirby's British. I don't know.
I think so. Yes. I did check out the IMDb for all of them after I got the casting. And
so I was like wondering if he could play their dad, like the Storm's dad, or something like that. Because there's a definite British link there, right? But I don't want to be Captain Britain. I don't want to
get him to be Captain Britain.
No, he would be dreadful. He would be dreadful. Have you read Captain Britain? Like, how does he remind you of Brian in any way at all?
He's an actor.
Apart from physique.
Yeah.
Can he though, Ray? Can he?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean,
Union Jack. Get him to be Union Jack.
I also feel, honestly, like even if he could carry it off or not is kind of irrelevant. He probably could, but I just feel he's. I don't know if I want our Captain Britain to start off that age.
Okay.
Because that would kind of imply we wouldn't see them that much.
Well, that leads into. So, what do you think about?
He could be Galactus or something. Who cares?
Galactus. Terrax. What do you? What do you think about?
Man, that'd be good for him.
What do you think about?
Tell people who like him that I just had a go.
What do you think of the apparent time period that's going to be?
I love it. Oh my god, what a nice vibe!
How cool is that?
Yeah. I was laughing about it and sending my friends. If no one's read it, you should go read the Philip Larkin poem Annus Mirabilis about 1963, which I'm not going to quote on there. But I was quoting that to someone, and they were like, "Oh yeah, and the Kennedy assassination." And I was like, "Yeah." So then we were all laughing about how they're going to be like, how will they be implicated, or how will they try to save the Kennedy assassination? But I really hope that we keep the first film entirely in the 60s.
Yeah, it'll be good.
The flash forward only happens in the end.
Oh, mate, I think so too. And of course, Fantastic Four, cosmic astronauts and all that, they can easily just time jump. You know, so it's not like similar
to quantum world. We have the negative zone. We have ways to get them.
Yeah, exactly. So no, that'd be good. And
I loved how they announced it with just the artwork.
Yeah, Valentine's Day. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, a lot of people were saying maybe it's just to sort of deflect from Madame Web.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's been getting terrible reviews.
Yeah.
I still want to see it. But
Alan said he enjoyed it, so
I mean, I see it as.
He also said, "I like trash."
Well, yeah, I think there is a time and a place for trash. And
look, I watched a perfectly fun trash film the other day.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong. There's a place for it. It's just I'm not going to pay to go sit in the cinema. I'll wait for it to come out on streaming. You know, it's just it's not like Morbius where I just had no interest. I mean, and I actually saw that in the cinema, but I had a subscription card then. So it's like if I'm not paying for it, I don't mind watching
to go.
it. You know, like pretty much.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm interested. I'm just not interested enough to go to the cinema.
I think there was an article that kind of put it, I think, in a very crafty way with Madame Web, saying it's one of those films that will inevitably be destined for. It's like so bad it's good. It'll be destined for like people just watching it later down the track, as just a perfect kind of binge indulgence kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes, but but from what I've heard, it's pretty bad, unfortunately. Thank God Spider-Woman Jessica Drew wasn't in it then. So
yes.
So anyway, Rebecca, I think why don't we get cracking with a little bit of Moonshine?
Let's do it.
Yep. So as mentioned, Rebecca and I will be looking at Vengeance of the Moon Knight, issue 2, by, of course, Super Team. I can't. The cover, Rebecca. The cover. What do you think of is it good? I like it.
It's all right. I got a variant cover, to be honest. I got the Daytona Candy one because big fan. But I like it. Hunter's Moon attempting a punch.
KHONSHU.
I mean,
I like KHONSHU.
As often, it doesn't really reflect what happens.
No, I was about to say
it's cool, but they might not have wanted to tell people what happened in the issue. So
so if I can flick through the credits, so I mean, this is titled Tigra, Rebecca. Tomato. Writer Jed MacKay.
Tigra. Should have said just Tigra/Tigra, like
exactly. Writer Jed MacKay, artist Alessandro Cappuccio, color artist Rachelle Rosenberg, with letter VC's Cory Petit, and we have the cover artist that we saw. For those that do have the video, the regular cover by David Finch, and editors Annalise Bisa, Martin Barrow, and Tom Brevoort. Rebecca, we don't have a synopsis, but typically what we do, listeners, Rebecca and I will go through the issue. We'll give kind of like a pitch as to what it is typically about. So at least it gives you some grounding as to what we're talking about. And then we'll just go into certain points. We'll cap it off with a rating. So, but first and foremost, Rebecca, what did you make of this issue overall?
I liked it. It felt very mid-story, if that makes sense. Like I wanted more, but not cliffhanger more. So I liked it. It's on that kind of even keel of. I really like that we're clearly going to get one of them talking to Dr. Sturman each week and get that slight Rashomon different views of similar events. but also moving the story forward. So it's a storytelling device I like. I wish it wasn't always with a month apart.
Yeah, right. And so I guess you're saying as well, I mean, in trade, it might work better, or?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, it's just like, it's nice. It's just, I feel like each time we're kind of going back to a point of, I wonder how many more that I will enjoy before I get frustrated at not knowing who Moon Knight is.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully we're getting closer as to who it is. We're getting.
I mean, there's a couple of hints in this one that a lot of people have picked up on, and again, check Maria's post in the Facebook post, check Discord chat to have us discussing some of the theory. But I like seeing Tigra in the chair. I thought she was. I thought one of the things that was interesting was that it definitely felt like a different character. So Jed's definitely writing them, not just like, another person kind of in therapy. That it's moving forward a bit. I like that Snowman has this kind of relationship with the whole gang. That it feels more like it does feel like a family, a gang.
Yes.
We have to decide who's next, if it's going to be Soldier or Hunter's Moon. Who's she going to chat to next? Be pretty cool. I would have said 8-Ball, but he's pretty beaten up.
Yeah. I reckon it would probably be Hunter's Moon. I reckon, like, if you're looking at tiers,
I think it should be Hunter's Moon.
Yeah.
In terms of people who are important.
Yep.
Of importance, but it might be Soldier so that Hunter's Moon gets issue 4.
Okay. Yeah. No, fair enough. No, true. Like, I mean, similar to you, Rebecca. I'd really enjoyed this. You're right. I think. I don't know. Yeah, I did feel the distance between this and the last issue, but having said that, that didn't take away from the enjoyment, I guess, of this. I was just aware of it. That's all. I do like the format as well. I like that Jed had kind of nurtured this particular format in the previous series, and we're kickstarting that in the first 2 issues, and for all intents, it looks like that's what we're kind of getting, like in the at least the 4 issues, as you're saying, like with Soldier and Hunter's Moon to come. Intersperse that with the actual action. I thought that was pretty cool. There were a few twists here and there, and there were little things that I guess Jed addressed, like Tigra not being able to smell the scent.
So I just got to that bit. I think that's really sweet because it's almost Dr. Sturman being a little bit stereotypy, or like, do you have great scent because you're a cat? And then I go, no, I had this face full of capsicum powder.
Exactly.
But I also loved her saying, it's a great conversation. Would Mark hate 8-Ball like that? Oh, well, actually, he would.
Yes, he would. Exactly. So
I love that sort of sense of humor that is kept throughout. Like, this could be it could be a fairly static thing, but it's, like you said, interspersed with the action. There's lots of little cute bits of character and humor. The art's great, again.
And I was about to say, and wow, does the art not just magnify this again? No, we've called this out again and again with the Alessandro Cappuccio, but I was not expecting this the first page. For those, again,
I think this is another step up for him, honestly. Not just the action, which we already knew he was incredible at, but some of the static faces when they're in the therapy room. Because sometimes they've been a little bit angular or and this time they're really just beautiful.
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah, so I think there's no no issues at all. I think with the art here, it's done really well, and the action scenes are quite dynamic. So there are a few points here, Rebecca, I guess, that Jed has dropped in. Well, actually, first I'm going to backtrack a little bit, because we've got the page here on establishing Greer's session with Dr. Sturman. Just the focus basically on Greer, I thought was really good. Jed, obviously, like always, does his homework with the character, and there was some deep cuts and origins.
About all her love life and the origin, and it was really good.
But he does. I think the beauty about what Jed does is that he calls it out, of course, because historically or canonically, this is what has happened to Greer. But he explains it like on a psychological level as to why she's gone out with her first her husband, then the likes of Hank Pym, So it's and then Mark, and then Jed builds a thread between all of them, and by doing that, you build the character of Greer, because she has, I guess, she leans towards this sort of companion.
But also just like it's once again underlining how much of a team this has become.
Yeah,
is that again we don't miss Moon Knight.
No.
I mean, obviously there is a Moon Knight there, but we don't miss him having that role because we're interested in what's happening to everyone else.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we saw previously as well, Tigra has gone down a different path than the others. She obviously was hurting a lot more after Mark's death, and so she had more of a vengeful kind of vendetta compared to the others who just wanted to carry out his mission. So it was really interesting to see her just kind of open up a bit more, rather than just be the kind of stereotypical, I'm just a driven, killing machine or whatever, just aggressor.
Yeah.
So that was good. It was interesting. Like you called it out earlier, Rebecca, that pause by Dr. Sturman here on this page when Tiger is talking about 8-Ball.
Yeah.
A lovely kind of just really, I don't know, deadpan humor.
It really was just kind of, it's just
dry
funny.
humor.
Dry humor.
So I mean that was really good.
But it's also like I loved even when Teague was like going, "Oh, well, Reese is 19 years old and she's come back from death. Of course, she's going to believe that." But it's just really interesting to get into the heads of all the different players.
Yes,
and to do it thoughtfully and with these distinct voices, which I just don't think you get in a lot of comics.
Yeah, I'm going to call out
as considered.
Yes, I'm going to call out and shout out the X Factor run by Peter David. I think in the early 2000s, there's a fantastic issue or a couple of issues where Doc Samson takes everyone like one by one into therapy, and this kind of reminds me of that. And it was for me when I first read that was like not groundbreaking, but it was just so amazing.
And also just like, it's just to make them feel like fully rounded, that we know that this feels right for them.
Yep.
And etc.
This is all the build up. So we're getting all of this, and then as we get along with the series, then Jed, after establishing all this, can start to kind of integrate all the, the action and stuff. Yeah. So building the characters from the ground up is just so cool. You're saying a tight-knit community as well. I mean, there are so many shots we get of, Soldier, Tigra, Hunter's Moon, and Reese, because they are the core group now.
And 8-Ball, but he's suffering.
Oh, well, yeah, 8-Ball, yeah.
I just want us to not forget he's part of the core here.
No, absolutely, you're right. Yeah. But yeah, this... What do you make of, because we get a bit more of it, this behavior and personality of this new
I mean, he's pretty mean to them, which is fun. And we get the fight over Tigra talking about her exes, which is
so Bill,
fun as well.
Yeah, so Bill Nelson was the first. Was that the police officer / the husband?
Yeah.
And she was kind of so it described that she was kind of oppressed by him, by just the lifestyle, I guess, that he wanted and his expectations of her. And so she wasn't true to herself. That actually culminates, Rebecca, I think, really, really nicely. I'm just going to jump here. There's a beautiful close-up by Cappuccio of a tiger bearing her fangs and saying, this is what I really wanted to be. Because we know that she has progressed from the cat, from the old, I don't know, when was it, the 70s?
Must be.
Yeah, to the werewoman, which is referenced a couple of times as the werewoman. But so, this Moon Knight is quite formidable, takes on Hunter's Moon. Hunter's Moon is a bit perplexed, I guess, as well, because
he
being a brother,
confused.
I mean, because he's so devout to being an acolyte, of KHONSHU, and having this person claim that they are. I really love.
Yeah, I think it's thrown him a little bit.
Yeah, I love this threat that he gives. He goes, if you are my brother, I would see your face. If not, remove your mask, or I will remove it for you. So he really is annoyed, a little bit pissed off at this person who might be a pretender.
Yeah, I think you're right to tie in the religious side to that. Like, he's very, very devout.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he is. It's kind of like the I don't know what you got, like in the cop movies and stuff. He's the straight cop. He's the cop that does the rules,
sure.
and he follows everything. He's like the Murtaugh to the to the Riggs. So again, Rebecca. Oh, sorry, listeners, we've forgotten to do like a little nutshell. But anyway, you're kind of getting the gist.
You're getting the gist. I mean, you've probably read it. Right.
Exactly. And by now you probably know there are spoilers. Rebecca, this page, so we get Moon Knight finding Hunter's moon, and then Tigra jumps into the fray. We get the first sight of some extra powers by this Moon Knight, and this has caused a lot of stir in the community, as you've mentioned, Rebecca.
Yes.
So we get him, Moon Knight, creating, it looks like a blackout of some description.
Yes. The new moon as well.
I like that.
Yeah.
And for anyone thinking that this might be Mark, especially Tigra, he clocks it pretty bad. You'd hate to think that it was Mark. Beautiful art again, with the eyes of Tigra in the dark, like a cat, of course. But yeah, Rebecca, when you saw this, where did your thoughts lead you towards as to what's going on here?
I mean, we're gonna have to have a rethink about who he could be. Like I said, that's happened. I think it's fairly compelling. I wonder if we're going to get each issue another thing that throws us off course a little bit. But otherwise, this could be quite cool. It's interesting. I like the tie-in with the new moon. I'd like to see the motivation. Like, I feel it would be a bit out of. I mean, I know there is a connection, but I feel like sometimes things shouldn't just be done for a surprise. So we will see. But currently, I like the new power. I was like, oh, that's not a Zodiac thing.
Yes, true. Well, true. Yeah, right. I just thought, like, going off one of the other theories that we were talking about before, Rebecca, like if it was one of the past, was it the chorus or the congregation of Moon Knights that has been resurrected, not necessarily Mark? Could this not just be one of their power sets anyway? Like,
absolutely could. I mean, like, we it doesn't necessarily, like, none of this. This is all Jed's playbook. He can do whatever he wants. Like, he can argue anyone had a power of anything. This could be like a random person we've never met before.
Yeah.
It's just an interesting. This is, another power.
It is interesting that, I mean, because I thought it was pretty nifty how it was kind of tied into the moon and night, and but I mean, I also see where other loonies are coming from, where you do see established characters with similar powers, and could this not be them who are hiding behind the mask? But as you say, Rebecca, I mean, then you have to explain the motivation, and sometimes it seems a little bit random if it is that character, but have faith in I've got faith in Jed.
I have faith that whatever's happening, there will be a motivation, and I know there are some already, but I absolutely have faith that this will be explained satisfactorily, and we will find out if and when we are getting Mark back, etc. So
I think also in this next page, Rebecca, you're talking about those facial expressions. I think that this is a really good example of it. At least the last one, the panel at the bottom where Tigra is kind of reminiscing about, this is again about her relationships, and talking about Hank Pym. And we all know about Hank Pym and his comic book history, but we see it under a different guise here with Tigra. In that, I loved how Jed coined it. Like he's he's up there with Tony Stark and Reed Richards, like with being a genius and such.
Yeah,
but he doubted himself compared to the others. Like the others would seem to be, seemingly were so self-assured.
I mean, the way I'd put it is, and I think he's right, is that the others do doubt themselves, but not in the same way. Like, all the way through, Hank is always a little bit jealous of other people and worried he's not good enough. Like the others are more worried, like, have I messed it up? He's worried that he's not good enough, that people are laughing at him. He kind of like takes it to that paranoia level a little bit, and that's why you see him do the whole Ultron thing.
Yeah. It's funny. It's funny Tigra didn't mention Wonder Man as well, because she did have a little fling with him too.
I know, but like, I'm not too worried about that.
He's a bit of a himbo.
Yeah.
So probably. Anyway, so again, change of colors here as Tigra gets, I guess, clocked while she's in the dark zone or whatever you call it, the blackout.
Yeah, Tigra comes. She comes flying out, and
now Rebecca, the big thing. Like we forgot the sixth member of the congregation.
Oh, the Midnight Mission.
Yeah.
I mean, do we ever really forget the Midnight Mission though?
No, never. No, it's always close to my heart.
Hearts, yeah.
But I found this quite satisfying in the fact that it rejects this Moon Knight and in a big way. And so what did you make of kind of
this? No, I thought that was cool.
Yeah. Because it's so funny because it actually kind of culminates. So there's a splash page here that we're looking at now. Moon Knight has a bit of a dig at Hunter's Moon and Tiger as well. You've got Soldier and Reese at the ready. Because he wants to get into the Midnight Mission. They're still kind of like pleading, like, are you Moon Knight or not?
Like, tell us who you are.
Yeah, and they're saying if you wanted the Midnight Mission, that belongs to Moon Knight. So who the hell are you? So I found that a little bit funny because they just want to ask this question and he's not giving them a straight answer.
That's why I worry. I was saying to Ray before we started recording this, like, how long is this going to be dragged out? Because theoretically it could go for a long time, but I would like to think that it will just be these 4 issues, and by the time we go into the Blood Hunt, maybe we'll know, maybe we won't. Who knows?
Wouldn't be funny if it was Dracula, like the whole meme.
It would be hilarious.
Like, I've got my money. I am now him. So.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's just funny anyway that we've got like a Moon Knight run tying in with Blood Hunt that won't have Mark in it.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, we nearly don't have any Moon Knight with this, by the way, that the Midnight Mission is treating Mark. I found this pretty cool. The look of shock and horror on the congregation as Moon Knight enters in. So hang on. So this Moon Knight is so happy he finally comes in. This is
look
good.
At the next right. Page. This has got to be one of the best things Rachelle's done.
So cool. I was staring at this for a long time, Rebecca, and is there a face? There is a face there, right?
There is a face there. Yeah, there's the same face as we always get with the moon as one of the eyes. Yeah.
One of the eyes and just the teeth. Yeah. But it's done
but I'm
really
also
well.
Fascinated by the light in the middle of it.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful framing. You can know who Reese is. Like it's a very pretty page.
Oh yeah, exactly. Okay, talking about comic book art work. I mean, Alessandro Cappuccio using the silhouettes as the border for this.
And I like how the exclamation marks kind of look. They've got little kisses under them. It just amuses me. That a little kiss.
Yeah. And the spectrum, I think, of color, which is really cool. But it
makes the Midnight Mission look terrifying.
Yeah, it's really cool. So if anyone had any doubts that the Midnight Mission let Zodiac go and had its allegiance elsewhere, you can rest assured now that its loyalties lay with Mark Spector, because it does not like this new Moon Knight at all. Yeah, and so I'm just going through.
It's very sad though. Yeah, the Tigra saying he didn't come back because the men who love me, the men I love, don't come back.
Don't come back. Yeah, that's right. So that was the message that she was saying. But we get we get the Midnight Mission just laying into this new Midnight, and he basically just goes, "Fine, all right, I don't have a house then. I'll still do my stuff." But I love the hero shot with Hunter's Moon. Soldier's missing. I don't know where he's gone.
He's probably just in the background, to be honest, because he was there in everything else. So he's back again in the next time they see them. So.
Yeah, but I mean, Reese again looking so cool in her Mr. Knight costume.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's it. So he goes, "Stuff you all. I don't get my house. My house hates me. I've got work to do," and off he goes. And it ends on this again. This reiteration of this new power and dare I say Ebon Energy or Dark Force or
I mean, it does look a bit like it, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, he's definitely teleported away. But again, like if you look at the theory, Rebecca, he could have gone into that corridor where all the dead Moon Knights were. I can't remember what that was called. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, so this. But
also, I mean, heavily implies. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, and just to wet our whistle a bit further here, so it ends with the cover of the next issue again. Probably a non. It probably doesn't connect with what's inside issue 3 at all. But it says, as the new Moon Knight serves his own vision of justice, Mark Spector's allies and friends take it upon themselves to find his base of operations and take the fight to him. But the Fists of KHONSHU hold a bloody and well-earned reputation, one that the likes of Hunter's Moon, Tigra, and Soldier are all about to experience firsthand. So, yeah, deliciously kind of ambiguous, but at least we'll see where this Moon Knight bases themselves.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I think we'll maybe learn a lot from that.
If they base themselves in Latveria, then we know it's Doc Doom. So off the bat. So yeah, I mean that was the issue. Rebecca, any other final points that you wanted to make for?
No, I'm looking forward to the next one. I'm just like, bring it on. Come on. I want to get through these quickly.
Yes. And you mentioned it's about a month away, right? So
I think so. I think it's I don't remember when it was. I was just looking at comic ordering and saying to Ray this morning, I was looking at comic ordering, so I was kind of trying to keep an eye on it, but I think it might even be towards the end of March. Let's have a quick look. Vengeance of the Moon Knight 3, 20th of March. So yeah, it's a bit more than a month.
Nice. We're gonna have to
but then there's only a short gap till 4, which is nice.
Oh, okay, cool. And we must get Jed back on at some point as well,
to catch up.
Yeah. He's been very kind to say that whenever you guys want, he'll come in.
Yeah, so. We should do that because we haven't spoken to him since he killed Mark. So
exactly, he's got a lot of explaining to do now.
He needs to be judge juried,
Yes, I guess. To finalize our discussion of this, Rebecca, a Moon KHONSHU rating, what would you give this one out of 10?
I think 7.5, and it's not because I don't like it; it's more because it's mid-story. It's not as exciting. Or maybe 8. Maybe 8 because I really like the characterization of Greer.
Okay, yeah. Look, I was going to give it a 7.5, but give that is a. Not taking points away, but more that this was a solid issue. I thought it was really.
Yeah. I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like it. It's so much a mid-story one. Like I don't know if you could pick this one up and get quite the same feel for it as you would for like some of the really exciting ones. But also if you love Greer and you don't care about Moon Knight, this would be a great one to pick up. So I mean, like it's sort of like different strokes. It's like it depends what you're coming at it for. I'm trying to give myself a bit of leeway for the big. Oh my god.
I just kept thinking of World of Tigra. Shout out from X. What they thought. I'm sure they picked up the issue.
I hope
big Tigra fan. So 7.5. I thought it was just really enjoyable. It's something that we've come to know of Jed, that type of storytelling. Oh, hello.
Hello. We can't do a podcast without him.
Oh, wants the cuddles straight away.
Ozzy would like to say that he thinks the new Moon Knight's outfit is a bit the same color as him because he also has a little white thing under his chin.
Ah.
So we're going to show you chin. Woo.
Oh yeah. Well, you're not wrong, Ozzy. You're not wrong.
So he thinks that Jed's been based it off him.
I think Ozzy also thinks that Ozzy can take down Moon Knight as well, which I think you can do. Ozzy.
He likes the combination of Moon Knight and Tigra, don't you, Oz? Cat power.
Cat power, all for cat power. So listeners, 7.5 to 8, I think, from both Rebecca and I. It is a solid issue. I think if you want to read comics and look, if you want to read comics and just have, and there's nothing wrong with it, just have a good time with a lot of action and just explosions and stuff. You're not going to really get it here, but you do get some action here. You get some great artwork, but it's more about, as Rebecca said,
character work at this point.
Character work and the family, and an insight into a bit of psychology into some of the characters. So I think Jed's done a really good job with this, and looking forward to the next one. I'm going to call it For Hunter's Moon next. Rebecca, I think you're probably the same.
Okay, I'm going Soldier.
Okay, I guess to go. Go Soldier. I'll go Hunter's Moon. Yes.
That way, one of us has to be right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it'll be Abel.
It'll be April. Oh gosh.
It'll be the midnight mission. Him in hospital.
Imagine getting the midnight mission, Dr. Sermon with a session with the midnight mission.
I don't see her. I don't see the midnight mission succumbing to that. Like
exactly.
How would you talk to it? It'd be very
exactly.
That'd be like totally psychedelic issue though, wouldn't it? Like you'd need to import in Jack Hawksmoor.
We should be going. Look, I get paid by the hour. It doesn't bother me.
I was saying you could go get Doctor Strange, but the Midnight Mission does not have a good history with him.
No, exactly. Yeah, you don't want to bring skeletons out of the closet. Yeah. Well, listeners, thank you. I forgot to mention from the top of the show as well, a huge thank you to all our Patreon members.
Yes.
Ever patient, ever vigilant. And thank you so much for following still. Look, Rebecca and I, we will keep on discussing as much as we can when we can. But yes, things, just slow down a little. And that may be for some time, Rebecca. Look, let's not lie. I know, at least from my point of view, just with 2 young kids as well, it's a little bit harder these days.
Ray's got an extra kid. I've got a full-time job. Neither of these have happened before, so...
Yeah. So but I mean, we just love doing this. So we'll keep them coming out, and thank you so much to all our Patreon members. Next phase, Rebecca, we might do something different.
We might.
Just keep your eyes peeled out for posts there. But of course, we'll be back for every new issue that comes out as well. You can contact us on the likes of email, feedback@itkmoonlight.com, where we've got the website. We're on Facebook, X, Instagram, Discord, YouTube, Blue Sky as well. So just contact us. Let us know what you think. I'll try to get some posts up there as well, just to get some discussions going. But it's always good to hear from everybody. And Rebecca, anything spectacle, anything that you'd like to give a shout out to that you might be appearing in soon, or that you might be...
we're still plodding away with DCAU.
Mm-hmm.
So it's we just recorded Legion of Superheroes, so that was interesting.
Okay, how? I know Alan's mapped it out, right? And he did mention. Because there's obviously a finite number of things that you do.
So we should finish the main run by summer.
Okay.
This summer we should be done. But then they've announced a few more films, so it depends on whether he can persuade me to keep doing them. But I think probably will, because I think in the summer it'll be like Final Crisis Volume 2, so it'll be a Volume 3.
Oh, nice. Well, excellent. Go check it out. Links always in the show notes alongside all the other collective shows.
How are you? You managing to do anything else, or it's all daddom?
Oh no, I managed to. So similar to my other co-host Sarah, and just obviously work schedules and stuff are hard to work around. But we're still out and about where To Know Her Is to Fear Her. We're going through Gang War. The nice. Spider-Woman miniseries, which is really cool. Oh, that's
good. I've only read the Luke Cage one so far.
Oh, okay. It is good. No, it's quite enjoyable. A big curveball has come, which everyone kind of knew. Right. So Jessica's son. Oh, spoilers, everybody. It's a bit old now, but Jessica's son Jerry had been taken in by Hydra. Had been accelerated, so he's grown up now, and he's now a Hydra assassin. So that's totally gutted Jess. And as Saren says, and as Saren says, she just loves it when Jess just gets gutted, because that's the best stories for Spider-Woman when she suffers. Unfortunately,
she gets to suffer quite a lot.
She suffers a lot, So some of the best stories. Also as well, Predator and Prey. Go check it out. We are still going through. I think we finished the Predator versus Wolverine mini series of 4 issues by Benjamin Percy, and we're going to return to the Omnibus, because the Omnibus Volume 2 I think will be coming out soon. So all the classic Dark Horse stuff from Predator.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So listeners, thank you very much for listening. And as always, may KHONSHU watch over the denizens of the night. Catch you later.
Take care, everyone.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.